Too Late from Behind, and Sebastian Marin, your first repeat top split winner of the qualifying series.
He knew it was just a matter of time. Hunter Sr. is victorious.
Josh Adams taking the win at Iowa.
GC Spider Motorsports takes home the 1-2-3 finish.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to another presentation of the Mystic Racing League. And it's Downtown Auto Sales Truck Series presented by Pest Busters for a little short track racing action from IRP. Logan Threlko with me in the booth. I'm Morgan Cook tonight with cameras provided by the great Dougie Beard. And Logan, a little short track action, but not in the traditional hit the bottom of the racetrack and paint that yellow lineway. A little different here tonight.
IRP offers some very different type of racing for a short track, exactly like you mentioned. It's going to be all over the place, bottom, top, middle, wherever these trucks want to go, they can pretty well put it there and it should stick. So a lot of passing opportunities at this 0.68 mile oval. 12 degrees of banking in the corners, 2 degrees of banking across the front straight. It's very flat out there. Opportunity to slide off the corners will present itself multiple times, I'm sure, especially as these tires start to wear in. But man, Lucas Oil, IRP, what a phenomenal place to be tonight.
Definitely one of the more interesting short tracks on the schedule on the iRacing service as well. Let's get over to our grid. See where your favorite driver will start tonight. On the pole, no surprise, it is with no lap times. Interesting. Ashton Crowder is starting first. Not sure what's going on here with timing and scoring. Braxton DeWeese will be in the second position. Third tonight, Noah Hubbard with Gavin Henson starting in fourth. Andrew Schob will start fifth. Michael Wade alongside in sixth, making his triumphant return for the Mystic Racing League. Seventh for Tristan Brunelli with Jacob Cochran starting in the eighth spot. And your top 10 is Dustin Lewis and Sean Merriman.
Just outside of the top 10, 11th goes to the 7 of Dominic Rossi, next to the 71 of Trevor Yates in P12. 13th, Derek DeWitt, next to the 14 of Dave Billings. Behind them, it's the 9 of Reggie Kime next to the 48 of Adam Holston. In P17, Brad Collier next to Alex Young in the 21. And inside the top 20, the 34 of John Ullman next to the 81 of Steven Addison.
Your final 9, Gary Baldwin Jr. in the 26, Joshua Gillen in the 01. River Hayes in the 82 starting out back with Jonathan Gasheri in the 1 machine. Douglas Wasaki will roll off in 25th with Zach White in the 26th position. Row number 14 looks a lot like Harold Tucker III and James Sturdivant. Final driver on the grid will be Tyner Willing in the 36.
We'll get the field bunched up here 2 by 2 to get this race started. It's going to be kind of a barn burner here. Only 175 laps on the board. Of course, 35 mile an hour down this short field pit road. 4 sets of tires available. We're expecting around that 80 number on the fuel, and that will allow these drivers to complete stage 1 without a required fuel stop. As always, the iRacing fix setup, and you know the stage there at lap 65. It'll offer some interesting racing for the back half of this one, where these drivers might have to focus on the fuel just a touch. A lot of circumstances will have to line up for that to be a factor, though.
And that's all if it stays green at that
exactly.
point. Of course. I mean, yellows, those pieces of fabric that fly out sometimes, they change the way these races look. And it'll be very curious tonight to see, do we get long green flag runs? This racetrack typically produces that. And like Iowa last week, you get some long runs. Though when you get cautions, they happen in bunches because of just the unique nature of where this racetrack's fast line is.
This pace truck does come off. Our drivers now being led by Ashton Crowder, Braxton Louise, the front row through turns 3 and 4. The green flag will be in the air, ready to drop. And away we go at IRP to start lap number 1. Let's see who can get the advantage coming out of turn 2. This could be one of the more important times of the race. Braxton Louise with a great run around the outside of the 44. He does get clear before turn 3. Crowder back down to the bottom. Can't do anything to get inside of Louise. And that 13 machine will lead lap number 1, nearly 3 wide behind in the middle of the pack.
The battle's on for 3rd right now. Hubbard alongside Hinson. There comes HT3 off of pit road. That's Harold Tucker. And the 16, Michael Wade, making a debut back in the series. He's on the charge in 16.
Top 5 right now for Wade. A lot of ground to gain or lose at any given moment. So it looks like our top 7 just about single filed out. The 24.
Oh, there goes Hinson around.
And the 39 collects it back up, however.
What a save.
Great recovery by Hinson to keep it up here inside the top 10. He'll lose about 5 positions from that. Back to P9. But staying in the top 10 after a slide like that, of course, you're going to have to battle the extra heat in the tires that you don't necessarily want.
Right.
But at least you're still in the race.
Very true. First side-by-side battle all the way back in 17th to Sherry. And that new look 48 for Adam Holston. Running the old Jimmy Johnson scheme down there on the bottom, that Cobalt truck.
Well, these drivers still 2 by 2.
Hubbard has got around our leader.
The 12 machine. He's been hyper aggressive lately to get to the front of the pack early on in the races. And a track like this, Morgan, that could be a very pivotal moment here for the Hubbard team. As long as he can stay ahead of the 13, watch his tires, this could be just about the smartest move he makes all race to take control of the lead early.
Yeah, there goes the 44 on the bottom. Rare mistake from Ashton Crowder. That BlacksIsland.com 44 has gone for a ride at the inside of turn number 2.
Green flag stays out. Single car spin off the racing line. Allows us to continue on with this initial run. But expect to see that more and more often. Once we get to the back end of these runs, Morgan, the tires are going to fall off exponentially. It's going to be really hard to keep under control. Those 4 sets of tires are going to be at a premium tonight.
And this racetrack, it's one of those ones that's so flat. As there goes the 71 with that same sort of motion we saw from the 44. This racetrack demands that you de-wedge this truck to go fast. What I mean by that is as we ride on the front bumper, maybe not, there we go, of the 71, you'll see the different, okay, maybe not this, maybe this one won't work. Some sort of issues here with our camera. There we go. Apologies. The way this racetrack works is the different areas of different levels of banking. So right below this dark gray part of the racetrack where that seam is, it flattens out by a couple of degrees. Around the yellow line at the bottom, it flattens out a couple of degrees. And what that does is it makes it so that the tires want to turn the truck more, but very easy to get sideways and spin it if you're not paying attention.
De-wedging a race car is always a very fine line to cross. And if you can master it, man, you can be one of the fastest drivers on the circuit at that time. But it takes so much patience and concentration and a lot of feel to it as well. You really have to be able to control it because it's almost a controlled slide, if you will.
Yeah, it's that moment before you slide. That's where the speed is. That's where you're able to save the tires, is you're able to hold it in such a position where it wants to turn, it wants to spin, but you have just enough rear grip that you're able to not have that slide happen as Wade is under fire. Freight train on the bottom, gonna go 2 for 1 in the wrong direction. Once the 71's able to get around him here off of turn number 4.
And that patience comes into play with your throttle manipulation. Obviously, you know, you can run the ideal groove where you see all these drivers right now, kind of a higher entry to a mid-exit back out to the wall down the back straight, but it takes an entirely different throttle curve if you're going to run that bottom line.
And how about Dustin Lewis? Biggest mover so far in the top 10, up 6 positions, all the way up to 3rd spot here, and charging by a little bit of pressure on our leaders, Hubbard and DeWeese.
That's exactly what you have to do to be successful at a short track race. Apply the pressure, but keep yourself safe. Dustin Lewis doing a great job of it so far. Another driver up quite a few positions. Right now, 9 gain for the 82 of River Hayes, running P13 at the moment. Not a lot of pressure for him. So this allows him an opportunity to focus on, you know, mastering that driving line that's going to work best for him. And, you know, getting around some of that. We always talk about dirty air, mostly at the intermediates and super speedways, but there is some dirty air at a track like this. We're not getting much over. Yeah, it's about 120 miles an hour on the front and the back straight, but diving into the corner, braking all the way down to about 85 right now, and it'll only get slower as the race goes on. There's a lot to handle whenever you've got a car nose to tail.
There's a reason why you don't typically see a driver follow another driver straight into the corner. They're offset left or right just a little bit to get air to the nose and keep that thing turned and planted on the front end so that it can rotate through the corner. Or you're going to smack the wall like the 71 just did, get checked up, and have potentially the 16 get on by you.
Instead, the 16 of Wade ends up helping. Gives the 71 a small boost there off the corner after the contact with the wall. So Trevor Yates didn't lose too much ground there. In fact, might have even gained a half a tenth or so over Michael Wade. That's a dangerous thing too, is you can't make that contact too often, otherwise you're going to start damaging that front splitter. Once you get a crinkle or two in that, it'll really change the way these trucks drive.
Yeah, aero damage, not helpful, to say the least. And I have to wonder. Sorry, if the 17's holding this group up a little bit. We look out the back and we see a dozen. We look out the front and we see a big old gap as the leaders catch lap traffic. That's Zach White up there the furthest. How do you handle a truck like this who's running up in the top 5? So has speed, Logan, but doesn't quite have enough to not hold up the group behind him.
You know, I think it really comes down to what point of the race are we at? Obviously, we're very early right now, only starting lap 22 out of 175, so you don't have to be too aggressive, but once we get up there and it's lap 130, 140, I'm giving them the bumper. Use that chrome horn a little bit, move them out of my way. That way you can make your own pass, make it happen. Sometimes you just have to force it. Can't be too aggressive and push them up into the wall or cause a big pile up or anything like that, but you can give that little tap, send them higher into the corner than they anticipate to be, make them get harder on the brakes as they try to bring it back down to that middle groove, or even just keep it off the wall, open up that door, step right on through.
So we're looking at River Hayes, biggest mover of the day, up 13 positions. The old Baker's dozen. He just got around the biggest dropper in the race, who is not Ashton Crowder, it's Michael Wade. He's down 5. Crowder rebounding up to 18th. Now he's down 17 from where he started in the pole position.
Crowder, after that spin off of turn 2, fell all the way back to the 26th position. So that is quite the climb that he has to make to rejoin these race leaders up at the front. But I think he can do it. We still have that lap 65 caution that will come out for the stage. It'll reset things for the 44. Allow him a fresh opportunity. It's going to be tough, but he can probably do it.
Yeah, plenty of time left in this race. Really
So much time left in this race.
Yeah, really nothing to be too worried about if you're a Crowder fan.
Does look like the 67, James Sturdivant. He is elected to take it back to the garage early on. Not sure if it was mechanical issues for the 67 team. But he did end up falling about 6 laps back. Has disconnected from the session entirely now.
I think we're seeing the 17 be a bit more of a problem up front of this second pack, I should say, because Brunelli has got there, and so is Cochran. And they are applying as much pressure as the 17 can handle, while simultaneously Braxton DeWeese doing that to our leader.
Keep an eye on both of those battles. The show having Brunelli, Cochran, Henson, Yates, and Hayes all right behind. DeWeese has been steadily under that rear spoiler of Noah Hubbard since he took control of the race. Hubbard now with 24 laps led, make it 25 this time by. DeWeese just with 4. Navigating the lap traffic pretty handily. Staying down on the bottom is the 11 of Douglas Wasaki.
Oh, Shobe got rooted out of the way.
There we go. There's the move that needed to be made. Brunelli takes to the bottom. The 17 up top has more competition coming from behind. Cochran will be the next in line. 51 wasn't able to find a way around that time, but he's working to the outside.
Yeah, he's got him here. Hinson should be able to follow through if he could get a good run through 4.
Like he had the nose there to the outside. He does. Spin just behind 71 of Yates. Nearly got into the wall. Henson now side by side, gets the drive off of turn 2, checks up just a touch that keeps the 17 competitive for now. That high line is going to be what prevails. River Hayes falling in line behind the 17. Don't believe that's the right call to make there. I might eat my words on that one. If you're seeing the 71 getting that loose off the corner, it might be the safer bet to be behind the 17. Now the 82 takes to the top lane.
I think the case is just that Hayes knows he's quick enough to make these passes, And he got just trapped in the wrong line, but there's no need to make a bad situation worse, as Hubbard and DeWeese are now 3 wide for the lead with a lap car. Slider for the 13, no dice, 12. Fires back on the high side behind Gary Baldwin Jr. And Hubbard's going to lead that lap. Oh, crossed over the nose. Oh, my goodness.
Nearly got sent there coming across the nose of DeWeese. I could tell what the 13 was trying to do. He wanted to keep Hubbard behind that lap traffic. Just the 12 got a much better run off of turn 4. Barely ended up staying on the track, however.
And these two have pulled away handily from Dustin Lewis. Still back in third. Brunelli is closing in. He is the fastest car on the racetrack right now outside of Ashton Crowder. They're actually running basically the same lap times. Only 2 drivers still in the 22-second bracket. Everyone else running 23s.
This has been battling each other here, where Brunelli was just being held up for a while. Still has fresh tires because he didn't have to push it as hard. So now's the time to really just settle in, find your groove, get around Dustin Lewis. If he can keep these lap times about the same margin as what he has now against the leaders, there's a good possibility he'll catch up here before the stage.
He's stuck in lap traffic at the moment, Brunelli is. So we'll have to... He's finally got around the 26. Now let's see if he can put together a couple steamers. Get to Dustin Lewis. And work up into a podium position for one of the few times this year for the 24. Well, Crowder, after the spin, back in the top 10, working around Show. This will be for 9th position. Can he clear? Yes, he can. River Hayes next in line.
Crowder now the only driver still in the 22-second bracket. Very
spin
nice
in front of him. Cochran's around. And Crowder is in it. So is Hayes. So is Yates. Goodness gracious, 51. Working around lap traffic, Hinson was right near it. Up the track, just 26 lower on the racetrack than I think Cochran expected. That is going to involve 5 or 6 trucks here.
No, Morgan, I just took a quick look out there to the YouTube chat, and I think we can chalk this one up to a commenter's curse.
All right.
It was just seconds after Alex Pollock.
Oh, commenter curse,
chat.
not commentator
Yes.
curse. I'm with you.
Commenter, not
I'm
a commentator.
with
It wasn't our fault this time,
I'm with
surprisingly.
Yeah.
A big hit there.
Oh, that's
71.
massive.
The 82 just gets pile driven, we'll say, into the 71 by Crowder. So Crowder is going to have some nose damage.
Pile driveth,
82 have-
if you will.
Driveth, not droveth.
Yeah, driveth. This might be a good shot of it, up off of the corner. 51 comes up, 26 goes down, and boom, boom, boom. Yeah, that's a lot of contact. And then a little more for good measure right at the end.
That opens up the pits, at least, for some of these drivers that maybe weren't so comfortable on those older tires. About 42 laps completed under green flag conditions. Our drivers up at the front, however, the top 5 elected to stay out. Braxton Louise, Tristan Brunelli, Gavin Hinson, Jonathan Gicheri, and Reggie Kime staying on the track. They're going to run it all the way out to lap 65 for that stage break. Everybody else behind has brought it down, except the 79 of Harold Tucker. He will elect to try to get a lap back here.
He will try. Where is? Oh, he came out behind the leader. He has to give all that time up. So he didn't get to pit, and he doesn't get the lap back. What a disaster.
Untimely.
Untimely is right. That's the risk of on these short tracks trying one of those wave around strategies, is that you might get caught in a bad spot where it doesn't work anyway. Also, with 5 cars staying out, you're not going to get the wave around anyway. So, I don't know. It's just one of those situations where you tried it, but it didn't work.
I would say more than likely looking for the lucky dog at that point. Just didn't get it.
And DeWeese and Hubbard were so fast lapping traffic, they got all the way up to 19th, really 18th, before caution came out. So you'd have to be running up in the teens to have a shot at it. Harold Tucker, of course, was well down the order after starting from pit road.
Only being scored as 1 lap down, though, so he's held his own.
Right.
Despite being, starting from the pit road, like you mentioned. Not ideal. It's such a short track. Not ideal at any track. But here we are getting stacked back up. 2 by 2. The pace truck comes off. In control of that 13 machine. Elected for the bottom lane here. The 24 Benelli to the outside. Coming up to that restart zone. And the 13 fires off. Great jump as the 24 sticks right with him. Falls in behind. Luis wants some more. The 12 gets loose on the bottom of those fresh tires.
That big slide for Hubbard, able to hold on to it. 3 wide looking, not quite able to get there. They are 3 a little bit further back. 16, 17, and then 9 as Reggie Kime is falling like a rock through the field right now.
47 laps on those tires versus brand new freshies. Hubbard will hard charge right back up to the front here. There'll be no contest with Brunelli and Luis. They're just going to have to let him go.
I think what we've learned is tires matter a lot.
Look at this. Crowder already back into the top 5, too.
Yeah, he just was able to masterfully get through that restart. Up to 4th, working on Brunelli. And here comes Hubbard for the lead. He might get it with the fresh tires.
Quite yet, but the drive down to the
slider,
bottom.
he got it.
Spin it in deep.
Slide job. Oh, there, 3 wide, bouncing off each other further back. Eric Jewett part of this melee. Shoves in the wall.
Henson about to find himself to be the meat in the sandwich. The 8 takes to the bottom. There it is. 3 wide through 1 and 2.
What a run on the bottom for Lewis. Right around the 39.
Great move there. 45 stays side by side with him. Wade Brunelli just up ahead now. 16 machine. From the outside to the inside, gets around the 24. Brunelli tucks right back in behind the 17.
Oh, contact with Jewett. Oh, he's going to push him a little further. Oh, there goes Brunelli around.
Down to the bottom off the racing surface. Does the yellow stay put?
There goes a 51 for a second time.
Looked like maybe even a third one was down there in the grass of turn 4. Take a look at this one. We got a lot to unpack here.
So we saw the 45 get a little bit free here. And then really give him a shot on the exit.
Just helped by the 34.
Yeah, 24 had to lift, ended up getting caught up with Ullman. What happened to the 51 of Cochran? This 51 went for his own little fiesta. This car all by its lonesome. Tucker the third, Steven Addison. Addison got loose and went up and tagged the 51. That's what that spin was.
I was just thinking that 81 came out behind the 51 here, so
yeah, that's where the spin was.
It all makes sense at the end of it.
Sure does. Let's go back to the incident though with the 45. one more time here. Let's see if we can maybe get it from a different look. Yeah, he got the position. Brunelli had to lift and ended up just getting put, in a bad spot there with Ullman and Lewis and everyone involved where they were. And then the caution took a while to come out as well, so that hurt the 24 even a little bit more.
I'm not entirely positive that the 45 of Jewett maybe, I don't think he knew that they were going to end up 3 wide there. Lewis had a great run on the outside, and it kind of just kept the 45 down at the bottom.
Right. And this
So
racetrack,
was expecting a little bit more drive up the track there with the 24, and it just didn't happen.
and with how flat this track is down there, very easy to just put too much throttle in it and get a big old push up the racetrack and just plow right up into the truck on the outside. And obviously, that's kind of what we saw there. And unfortunately, Brunelli was just the meat in the sandwich, and around he went, got the worst of that one by a lot. A little choose time, Logan.
Little choose time here, coming across the front straight. Looks like we're going to extend this caution one more lap as well. Allow these drivers to make their choose and catch back up with everybody. A lot of drivers electing for that top line. It's a great opportunity for that 14 to sneak up a couple
Oh, they're
positions
wrecking
on the
further
inside
back.
line.
Brunelli just got stuffed in the fence. Sorry, that's Yates just got stuffed in the fence. Oh, that's a heartbreaker. Go back with the 71. If you just want to watch for the green flag here, Logan, this is Yates trying to catch back up to the field for the Jews. Right here. Sees a hole. Hole closes. Pretty heavy damage.
That's not how you typically want to try for that.
Less than optimal, I think, is the right way to describe that maneuver.
Suboptimal, if you want another word for it.
Yeah, it's really the same thing.
Send these drivers around one more time as well.
Just for the fun of it. And not really sure why we're extending a lap here.
I believe race control needed a better look at that one. It will end up with the 71 of Trevor Yates receiving a EOL penalty. Just, I think, out of turn 3, didn't quite see what was going on ahead of him. There's a call from race control. We will be green this time by. Everybody stack back up. I tell you what, Braxton DeWeese in that 13 machine, 58 laps on his tires, and he's still on the front row for this restart.
Now here's the concern. He was the control car last time. Will not be the control car this time.
Spin. I see where you're going with it. Going through the top of 3 and 4, side by side. Green flag in the air. Into the restart zone, and the green flag drops. And a massive jump this time for the outside line. Luis managed to throttle well. We'll hold on to P2 for now, side by side behind the 16 and the 17. Wade and Shobe.
Now Wade will sneak on by. Now Shobe again is playing cork in the bottle. Here comes Jewett on the top side. Lewis on the bottom. The troublesome twosome from that last yellow. And they are 2 by 2 behind him.
In about 5 laps, barring no more incidents on track, we will have our stage caution scheduled. Stage caution at lap 65. So these drivers right now all battling just behind the top 10. They're looking for extra points. Expect to see some fireworks back here. Some heavy hitters might be wanting to get right in there as the 51 makes a move to the inside line. The 1 takes it down to the bottom. Gasheri trying to make a move for himself, 3 wide into 3.
Not even close to clear. He tried the slider. It wasn't. He was a full fender away. Oh, man.
It ends up working for him, but he definitely didn't make any friends with that move.
Yeah, sometimes if you put bad drivers, if you put good drivers in bad spots, good things will happen, is what I'm meaning here. And now he's going to have to really hang on to this, because Cochran will not be happy. Brunelli with a massive slider behind him. Oh, again for the 51, almost around.
More contact there as the 34 of John Ullman sneaks into that top 10.
3
Will he
wide.
be the one to claim the points?
My goodness.
Love to see it at the short track, way down on the bottom on the back straight.
Battle for
I
third,
believe that
second.
was a 14. Deweese and Wade going at it. 16 down to the bottom. Noah Hubbard seems to have this point category locked in. Wade gets by Deweese. Will Show be able to make the same move before that caution flag waves?
And what a great return. Cochran is around. Oh, now on pit road. See if maybe we can figure out why that 51's on pit road. We get the caution. Should happen here in about half a lap's time.
Stage winner will be Noah Hubbard. The caution will wave as the 10th place car comes across. And there it is. Stage break. Morgan, I took a look back here at the 51 and why he might have brought it down. I don't really see a reason why, but there's actually a big stack up behind him. I'm trying to figure out who.
Oh, there's
it
a
was.
79 went around. You can see it in the background. I feel like something broke on the 51. That's just going to be it for his efforts here today. Hubbard already on pit road. Oh, as we work through pit stops, Merriman is going to stay out in this one. Maybe we could chat with somebody. What do you think?
Take a pick. You could throw a dart out here on the field and pretty well hit just about anybody at this point.
Find somebody in a voice chat. Let's go with Gavin Hinson. Gavin Hinson, it's Morgan and San up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, you do.
All right, P2 at the moment. Tumultuous first stage, ends up with you just outside of stage points, if I'm not mistaken. What's it going to take here the rest of the way to get a handle on this racetrack?
Well, I short pitted, or I hit before the stage,
Flipped it.
so I'm trying to flip it here and see what I can do in clean air. I don't know. I mean, we still got a lot of race left, and I don't feel like I've really learned anything other than it's hard to pass. So track position will be key in this race for sure.
So is that the most important thing tonight? Is track position? Keep it up front. Have you noticed a difference on the new tires versus passing guys on old tires? Any thoughts there?
I think it's a little tough. I was kind of easing around the track there, so I really didn't get a good handle on it. I didn't really push, but I did feel quicker. You know, I could be effective with the new tires, but I still think, you know, the faster guys that you run up on that may be on old tires, it's still going to be tough to get around them, just with how narrow the track is.
All right, while we got you up here, don't want to make you miss the choose. Who do you want to thank or shout out? We have a second.
I want to shout out Rob's Custom Wraps. You know, it's on the truck.
Sure is. Sure is.
And yeah, shout out Waterforce Racing, you guys as well. Yeah, that's all I got.
All right, thanks for your time, Gavin.
Okay, see you.
That is Gavin Hinson. As we work through the choosing's first car to the inside, if I'm not mistaken.
You would be correct. He will be starting to the inside of the 18, Sean Merriman. About 13 laps of difference on their tires on that front row. The new tires will all start from P6 back. Noah Hubbard, Michael Wade, the first 2 drivers on the fresh tires. Top 5, Merriman, Henson, Kime, Young, and Crowder. Kind of a mixed bag of when they pit. Got 29 now for Merriman, 17 for Henson, 18 for Kime, 30 for Alex Young, and 14 for Ashton Crowder.
And that's their last pit lap on the ticker. See, of course, working lap 72. You're right, mixed bag. This is going to be very interesting, especially if we go green.
We're going to find out here. I believe the pace truck should come off this time. There it goes, diving down into pit road. Remember, in control, the 18 up on the top line. See what Merriman can do with those older tires. Restart zone coming up. Green flag waves. And a great jump from the outside line. Henson couldn't quite keep up. He'll fall back. And it's 3 wide behind for that 4th place spot.
Oh, they're almost wrecking.
Contact. Almost 4 wide. 4 wide now.
Oh, my goodness. We're still 3 wide, 2 rows deep. The 21 falling back quickly. The 1 on the outside. Oh, that got tight. Now in front of Shobe. Now in front of Brunelli. Up into the... Oh, my goodness. Willing's up in the fence.
One thing I never thought I would say is a 4 wide call in Indianapolis Raceway
And Henson's the leader. How did that happen?
Got around the 18.
Sure did. Looked away for 1 second. 39 shot out of a cannon. And Crowder to the bottom. Oh, contact or bang with the 18, the 44.
Last time the 44 was up here, he ended up taking a ride out of turn 2, visiting the grass on the back straight. Again, all the way back to the 26th position early on.
Look
clawed
at
his
this.
way back up to the front.
We are 3 wide and knocking walls down at the back of this group, and they are all held up by the 18 and the 44.
One thing I do want to bring to light here, Morgan, Crowder, the only driver with a lap time into the 21 seconds, 21.992.
That's
We've
getting
had
it.
some other drivers very close. Noah Hubbard with a 22.028. But
Oh,
man,
Kashari.
that 21 is just staring at me here on the timing and scoring.
I just saw the 1 sail it off in the corner. And it's a good thing that the 8 has the awareness of what's going on around him. That would have been a 2 or 3 car accident. His driver's starting to get pushy and shovey up. Oh, there goes Jewett around further back. Right into Brunelli for the 2nd time. And that will probably end the 24's day. No caution. Why is there no yellow? Oh my goodness, that 24 is killed. Might be another caution here. Hate that for Brunelli.
Fender completely ripped off. The toe has been completely offset. The smoke still settling on the front straight. Caution flag stays put. Crowder under fire here by Noah Hubbard, able to get around. Braxton Weiss looking to follow suit. Henson still controls the lead. The 12 sends it down to the bottom. Gets door to door through 3 and 4. Oh, a little bit of a slide.
Oh,
off
big
of turn
spin
4
behind
there.
him as well. That's Tyler Willing has gone around, facing the wrong way. Up in front of traffic. Now the caution's out. Thought he threw the yellow flag in the crowd for a minute.
I think the 45 had issues on the back straight too.
Well, the 45 was caught up with the 24. That's the reason for the 24's incident. And that, of course, gave the meatball flag to Jewett. There's the spin all by his lonesome for the 36. Now let's go further back to Jewett. This car is destroyed.
I see where I found his issue. He was about to pit right before that caution flag came out.
Yeah. Let's go back
So
one more
ended
time.
up bringing it back out on the track through the grass.
Just on board with Derek Jewett. The exit of turn 4. This time we'll see this 45 go for a ride. Gets 3 wide. A little bit of contact with Kime, could not hang on to it. Brunelli got the worst of that, but Jewett still pretty hard lit. Back up on the racetrack. Maybe got hit again. He did not. We'll see this from Kime's point of view.
I think he was just trying to knock off that front left fender there.
From Reggie Kime looking back at Jewett and Holston.
45 trying to shoot middle.
Yeah.
Just gets stuffed in the rear too. That didn't help.
No, just a tough situation. I mean, you can't really blame Reggie. I mean, he's up on the top side, nowhere to go. 3 wide, just similar to that first instant that we saw with the 51 and the 24 and also the 45.
I don't really know if you could place blame on any
No,
of those
I don't
drivers
think so.
involved in it. That's good hard racing right there. Unfortunate outcome, of course, but
Sure.
yeah, that's what you want to see, is people trying to send it 3 wide middle. Whenever that door opens and you get your foot in, that's how you make your sale.
From the master salesman himself, Santa Claus.
I wouldn't say anything about that. I typically give stuff away for free.
Well, there you go. There you go. You're
I
selling
just,
the dream.
required
It's the dream that
cook-
gets sold.
Cookies in exchange.
There you go. Still a barter system.
We take it.
You sure do.
As the choose is being made, you got Noah Hubbard electing for the outside line. Gavin Henson holds on to P2 down to the bottom. Dustin Lewis lines up behind Henson. Braxton Luis on the top line behind what's been his toughest competitor so far this race.
It
It's like Ashton Crowder brought it down. He falls back to P12 out of the top 5, but fresh tires, much fresher tires than everybody ahead of him.
Yeah, Reggie Kime in that same boat. Pit for 2 tires, it looks like. Maybe just fuel only even on Reggie Kime. Jewett and Hayes also pit. Obviously Jewett for that massive damage repair. And Hayes looking for 4 fresh, good years.
Base truck lights are off. Should be diving down now. There it is. A hard turn into pit road.
90 laps
Get
to go,
everybody-
Santa.
Everybody collected back up. That's just outside of our fuel window if we take it green. A couple of these drivers up in the front might be in a dangerous position. 12th on back might be in a very good one. Green flag waves as we hit the restart zone. Hubbard with a great jump on the outside line. Deweese able to get by Henson, diving down into turn 1. 39 still battling though, keeps the nose just at the rear axle of the 13 machine. Finally gets a drive off turn 2 and clear for Braxton Deweese.
Michael Wade has really impressed me tonight. Haven't seen him in many months. As a caution is out.
Parking lot in turn 3.
Yes, it is. Yates is in it. I think Jewett's involved as well. Oh, Brunelli really forced the issue on the 81. This happens in front of these guys. There it is, 14.
That starts with the 14.
Oh, man. Bunch of cars up on the top side. It looks like pretty minimal damage for most of these drivers.
Yeah, I think the 14 fared the worst of it.
Yeah. It's going to watch the 24 here on the bottom.
Just sent it down there, but he made it stick. I don't think there's any contact there
He didn't
with
make it
the 18.
stick on the next one.
No, not quite.
Now, granted, 14
It was-
probably shouldn't have made that leftward move. I think the 24 was pretty committed, but regardless, that incident, clearly there was a reason why that happened.
Do we have an onboard there with the 24?
Sure
I'm curious
do.
if he had the nose to the inside of the 14 there.
Riding on board with Tristan Brunelli. Yeah, he definitely got there.
That's close.
It was.
It
Yeah,
does look
parking
like
lot.
race control is calling that just a racing incident.
Right.
So no EOLs to be handed out to either of those drivers involved in the start of that one, at least. But like you said, the rest of them that got in there, it just a little tap here and there. It wasn't anything like the previous caution. We had other cars being torpedoed into drivers ahead of them.
That's right. Trying to make those corner pocket shots. Not happening here. Now, we talked about fuel mileage briefly before this caution. If you pit here, you're looking pretty darn good to the end of the race.
Yeah. The pace that we're going right now, I think you've got a great shot at making it all the way to the end. Of course, we had a decent green flag run to start this one. And so far, we've had 5 more cautions, 1 being the stage. So 4 natural cautions, 1 scheduled, 6 lead changes so far in this race. Of course, IRP only having 1 timing loop at the start-finish line. Some of those passes for the lead not quite being scored as they might at some other tracks.
Would you say that's
6 on
irksome?
the board.
Would you say? For drivers?
Irksome?
Irksome?
Irksome.
You know?
I can't say I'm familiar with that word, Morgan.
Like irksome, but we're at IRP.
Okay. Okay. So it's a play on words.
See what
That's
I did
why
there?
I wasn't familiar with it.
Play
I
on-
do see what you did.
Play on
You had
acronym,
to,
if you will.
You really had to drag the horse to the water.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
we got there either way.
Drag the horse to the water with a sled. Gently lay the horse's water in the pond to drink, and then put back on sled, back to the pasture. Yes, that's how that joke went. That's okay. They can't all be winners, but they can sure all be losers.
We're double back up here, but we are going to extend this one more lap here.
Yeah, that's not a great time to extend it.
The pace truck was already down into the pits. It'll go flying through.
Odd why it was extended. Field looks about as caught up as it is any other time. Interesting.
Didn't quite hear the reasoning for it, but at this point, you know, we're I don't know if we're bunched up enough to send it green this next time by either.
That's the
We
problem when you
spaced-
have
we
one of
spaced
those
way out.
one of those late calls.
There it is. We're
makes the
extending it one
field-
more.
It makes the field even worse.
Looks like we're still trying to line up a couple drivers towards the tail of the field.
Pace lights are still on, so not this time either. Well, this is unique. Probably iRacing's fault.
Well, after the news today, I wouldn't be surprised.
Change your passwords on iRacing if you haven't already, just for security's sake. You should really rotate those passwords every now and then anyway. That's neither here
All right.
nor there. Let's get this re-racked for the 3rd time.
We are officially going green this time. It's restart zone coming up. Green flag in the air. And it drops as a big jump for the outside line again. Outside line has prevailed more times than not tonight on those restarts. The 16 with the hard charge here to stay to the outside of the 13. 3 wide just behind. Henson again in the middle of that one. I don't know how many more times he would like to be the cream in that Oreo.
0. 0 more times as he wanted to be 3 wide. Stuck in the middle, but we're going to have to find out the rest of the way as Wade we get muscled by from DeWeese. Top 3 are broken away over Dustin Lewis by about half a second.
Dustin Lewis has been very competitive today as well. I think finally getting free of the 39 there might give him an opportunity to catch up with these top 3.
Hubbard and DeWeese trying to pull away from Wade. Nose to tail using slightly different lines to return number 3 as we're approaching 80 to go. We're getting to the point where everyone can make it on fuel. Here comes DeWeese. If you've already pit, I should say. At your top 8, no chance on fuel to the end.
Thought the 12 might have spun up those rear tires a bit there out of 2. Thought 13 would get a good run. He's just going to stay right up underneath that rear spoiler. Doesn't take a look to the inside this time. Outside line, I think, will be the more dominant passing line. Once we talked there to our driver just a few laps ago, asking about the passing opportunities, I really think it'll be mostly top line. We're already catching up to some lap traffic, so that could throw a wrench in things for the 12th Hubbard. Might open up a door for Deweese.
Yeah, Yates is the last driver on the lead lap. Nose knocked in. Had a black flag, just recently got cleared. Not sure what the story is there.
Thirteen's getting really close to that back bumper. I wonder if he'd be willing to move Hubbard out of the way at some point. We talked about that earlier, that lap 140, 150 area. You have to be more aggressive. If you have to move somebody out of your way to get through, that's about the proper time to do it. Move them and run.
Yeah, I don't see Deweese moving him. I just think that he's trying to pack air on that spoiler and maybe have some ill effects on the 12, or at the same time try and make the 12 push a little harder and make a mistake. I think that's really what the goal is, not necessarily to make contact here. As Hayes and Schober door to door, this is for the 9th spot.
To go with that, Morgan, I have seen a lot of races where that 13 has been the pilot, and that is exactly how he likes to race. It's, you know, he's always aggressive, but never too aggressive to where he's putting anybody at risk. He knows the moves to make, and you hit, goodness gracious, you hit the nail on the head.
That's part of short track racing, right? Is you have to apply pressure. Well, like road course racing. Apply pressure without making contact. Oh, he just about got into the corner. He's going to dive way down to the bottom. Compromised exit, but they're door to door for both of them. Here comes Wade. Hubbard's really entering low into the corner, is he not?
It sure seems like it to me. We'll get a good look here from the Goodyear blimp up above. Hey, he's diving down below that, natural groove that IRP produces into the corner and kind of floats up just a touch, and looks like he even exits a little bit lower too. That's only going to chew up that right front tire.
Yeah, the more aggressive you enter, roll the center and exit, obviously, the hotter the tires you're going to get.
Single filed out through the top 10. First side-by-side battle just a little bit further back here.
Hinson's trying. Remember, Hinson's still on those very old tires, oldest in the field right now.
Let's see, 52 laps for Hinson. So that'll be one of those drivers to watch out for as well. And can they make it on fuel even if we get more cautions on the night?
There's no way. There's no way he's saving 40 laps of fuel. That's crazy.
Ooh, nearly causes issues for the 8 of Dustin Lewis. I think a slight touch there to the left rear quarter. Lewis collected it back up. Kept it ahead of the 39.
Trevor Yates showing he's got race-leading speed. He's kind of just hung out here. Running those 22.8s, leaders in the 22.7s. But they're fighting so hard with each other, they can't focus on the lap car. As Holston gets worked over by Crowder.
Not to mention Yates with all that front end damage too. That truck is not driving at its top performing level. 48 extremely loose off of turn 2. Weather is pretty favorable tonight for these drivers. Only 84 degrees on the track surface, 74 ambient air temperature. So a great night to be in the crowd, virtually, of course, in the comfort of your own AC.
Or no AC.
Or not, yeah. Beautiful day today.
Yeah.
Mostly single filed out through the entire field now.
Is it just me, Logan, or is this kind of giving you calm before the storm vibes?
Yeah. That's exactly what it's giving me. We've got a gaggle of race cars here around, just behind Henson and Lewis. Crowder, Hayes, Gasheri, Holston. It's a big gap back to the 10th place car of Dominic Rossi. About 2 seconds behind the 9th place driver, Holston.
Oh, here goes DeWeese.
That bottom line, trying to get that D-wedge action that we mentioned early on in the race. Slides it up the track out of turn 4. Can't put the power down too soon when you're making that transition from that slightly flatter surface to that only 12 degrees of banking that you see in the corners. Looks like Henson's starting to get a little bit more aggressive on his turn in.
The leaders better watch out. 44. Back up to the podium if you can clear the 16. There it is. Only driver running the same speed as the leaders is Ashton Crowder.
And doing so in traffic is tough enough.
It is. Okay, here's lap traffic in front of the leaders. Oh, what a bad spot for Baldwin to be.
That'll help the 44 catch up to those top 2 here. Baldwin into the wall out of 2. Stays up high, allows the 44 to get that bottom line. This time by, let's see, Crowder about 0.2 of a second faster than the top 2.
Oh, Hubbard. He tried mightily to get around the 71. He's going to try his slider. Parks it in the center, but the battle is behind him. Look at the 3-wide knot. River Hayes trying to march by on the inside lane. He can get door to door with Michael Wade. He will clear Michael Wade. Derek Jewett
and the caution out
has gone around.
If there's any assistance here from the 18, Sean Merriman on the inside. Jewett kept him kind of pinched. It looked like a bobble out of the 45 and brought him back down and got that tap.
I think that's quite a racing incident, it looks like.
81 locks it up there.
Try one more time. I mean, 45 pinched him down on the exit, no question.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no question about that. But then up against the wall where they ended up crashing, I mean, he's up against the fence. There's really not much more you can ask out of the 45. Just 18 into the door. And around goes Jewett. And not the best return to the series for the 45. There are a smattering of cars on pit road. Somebody missed their box by 3 further back. I think that's Billings. Yes, it is.
Merriman elects to stay out.
That's close on fuel. Probably with the caution, he's okay, but he's going to be the only driver to stay out here.
Yeah, that's 33 lap old tires versus brand new tires. It'll be starting likely to the inside. I'd say Merriman will most likely take that top line at the choose. Looks like the 24 trying to get his wave around here. Brunelli
back on the lead lap.
Wants to be back on the lead lap.
Nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely not.
choosing this time, I imagine. Yes, we are.
There's Merriman to the top, Hubbard to the inside. Deweese to the top line. That's a decision. I don't know if it'll be the right one or not. We'll find out once we drop that green flag again, but it's a tough one to make the call on.
I like if you're on those fresh tires, restarting behind the leader on old tires. I like the idea if it's a racetrack like this where the launch matters so much and you're able to get 2 car lengths. Because if you can launch with the leader, you should be able to find a way around the 18, whether it's to the inside, whether it's through the middle, whatever the case is, maybe even the outside if the 18 chooses to go middle. You could probably get around him and then be the leader with a car in between by the time the exit turn 2.
But at the same time, Hubbard has been strong on his restart, so he's not been in control of. So it's going to be hard to see that gap open with enough time for the 13 to get by. I'm with you, though. It's a good call. Just certain situations have to line up nearly perfectly for Deweese to get the lead off of this restart.
Well, the storylines are starting to build. Will this be the final yellow flag period of the race? 50 laps to go here from IRP. Merriman on the old tires. Hubbard and Deweese on the fresh stuff. They've dominated the day. And here we go. Great jump for the 18. 12 in the same boat.
Again, Hubbard staying strong. Crowder muscles his way through the inside. Up to P2 goes the 44. The 13 does get to the inside of Merriman. He'll get by. 3 wide just behind him. The 82. Hayes in the middle. Dustin Lewis down on the bottom. Oh, man. That was some good racing right there.
And that's probably worst case scenario for Deweese. Went from having a shot at the lead to fighting,
oh, no,
and now
it's
spinning.
That's the worst.
Oh, no. Dustin Lewis involved as well. There's the caution. I was going to say going from fighting for the lead to hanging on to third, but of course, as you mentioned, that is worse. The slide puts him way behind the 8 ball here.
A very strong day for the wooden nickel 13.
And just loose off the seam. Same thing we saw Crowder do earlier.
Yeah, and then you see Lewis. A great job of reacting.
That's right.
To not just pile drive into Deweese.
I mean, both of those trucks are going to be able to carry on with 0 damage, which is really great to see. I think if you see a lesser driver, both of these trucks are headed to the hauler.
Absolutely. The NEOL on top of everything for Deweese.
Yeah.
Just making, just kicking while he's down.
Yep. Cover your teeth. The kicks just won't stop.
And you have to think, too, after Crowder had his incident at the very beginning of this race, it has taken him up to this point to finally get back up here at the front.
Yeah, this is the first time he's been in the top 2 all day, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know. Aside from the initial start,
Crowder true.
Did
I guess
have
because he
that
was
pole
the pole,
position.
of course. But I don't think he ran more than 3 or 4 laps up in the top 5, or up in the top 2, I should say. It's really been Deweese and the 12 of Hubbard.
With that said, I don't know if there's going to be enough time for Deweese to even recover to the top 5. I could see a top 10. So he'll be falling back to around that 17th position.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to make that up, no question. Should be choosing here.
Hubbard naturally will take to the top here. Crowder down to the bottom. Hayes to the top. Henson to the bottom. Just switching it back and forth here. There we finally have a double lane choice.
And then back here, you're just hoping that you guess right. You can't really see the whole field. You're just hoping you maybe gain a row or 2. Because It's
26 just did a great job of picking up a couple spots.
Such a slugfest behind like 15th that you're just hoping that you don't get caught up in something. You don't catch somebody else's right hook.
Yeah. Or in the case of Dustin Lewis, catching into somebody else's slide.
Yeah. Got word from
Hate to
Deweese.
see that for the 8, man. He was
is-
having a strong night.
Yeah, truck's all good for the 13. I would imagine the same thing for the 8 of Lewis, who's run, again, top 3 pretty much all day. Falling back
It wasn't
now.
top 3, it was top 5.
Oh, for sure. Now in 13th with some work to do.
Merriman's still in the mix with his old tires.
There's Deweese. Will we get extended? No. Maybe. I didn't see the pace truck come in, actually.
The pace truck did dive down just
Okay.
in front of the 13.
There you go.
Now Deweese will find himself one lap down behind Young and Jewett. Green flag waves. Hubbard with another strong start on the outside line. The 44 of Crowder falls behind. Not under too much pressure from River Hayes. Still 2x2, Henson and Gasheri. One
Oh,
forcing
Henson
the issue
got
on
up
the
into
top.
the door. Sherry going to continue to hang on the corner. Oh, there just wasn't enough room.
Thought the 48 was going to have a opportunity down to the inside line. I think he thought better of it there as they both slide out of turn 2.
And we're at the go time of this race. I know there's 40 laps to go, but with how hard it is to pass, you really have to push to try and get spots up. A lot of hard contact in the wall further back. I think that was Lewis just popped the wall. As Hayes got outside of Crowder.
Pressure. There's that passing line, the outside. Works for the 82.
Merriman still falling back on the old stuff. Oh, there goes Jewett again.
Slide.
Great save.
Keeps it facing the right direction that time. Mr. Lewis up a spot here. 10 for the 8 machine now after starting 13th in that one.
Don't look now. River Hayes is applying pressure for the lead.
Henson and Holston going at it for P4 there.
More times around IRP. This race really could be anybody's. Haven't seen an outright dominant car. We've seen a group of cars be fast, but nobody outright be the fastest here. And a long enough run that we could see a different running order from now to the end.
Absolutely. There's still so much time left in this one. Anything can happen at any given moment, as we've seen so far today. Quick recap of 6 natural cautions now. Number could go up, it could stay the same. Side by side into 3. 17. Andrew Schob keeping Dominic Rossi at bay. That puts Rossi and Wade side by side. Wade to the inside line.
And Rossi getting freight trained on the top right now. 7 cannot get out of the way. Brunel, he's going to come up the racetrack into the door of the 8. He did a nice job of shielding the 7. And they're still dooring each other. I don't think Brunelli realizes they're 3 wide.
Finally settles out for the 3 wide aspect of it. Lewis and Brunelli still going at it. The 8 not giving him much room at all. Finally single file through the top 10.
Up front, Hayes all over Hubbard. And Crowder starting to make inroads as well.
Been really good on the long run. Be well-minded to save some tire here. Hope for that green flag run to the end.
Oh, Hayes got there
Hayes
for a
looking to the
moment.
outside.
Couldn't make it stick on the wall. No, down to the bottom. He's just trying every line he's got. Hubbard will close off the bottom of the racetrack.
Everything but the kitchen sink now, Morgan. Crowder to the inside.
He goes way down to the yellow line, slides up in the center for the diamond. He's to the inside quarter. Somebody has spun in front of the field. Can't tell which truck that is. That's Gillen, who is 125 laps down, just joined the race. Welcome in, Joshua Gillen. I thought the chat was rather quiet. Hayes, Hubbard, Crowder, and they're door-to-door further back. Brunelli trying to work on Gasheri. Shob involved in this as well. Michael Wade is part of it.
Comes Dustin Lewis to throw his name in the hat, too.
Oh, he moved Gasheri up out of the way. 3 wide. This hasn't worked all day.
Right.
It's no. Wow. I thought the 24 was getting turned 1,000% off the nose of the 6. Somehow they kept it straight. And while that happened, Crowder is now door-to-door with Hayes for second.
Seen many passes be created from that bottom line, but the 44 makes it work that time. Hayes
Crossover.
Right back at him. Slams the door shut, though. Give him no room to drive off of turn number 2. The 44 in sole possession of P2 for the time being. How will Crowder apply the pressure to Noah Hubbard? Will Hubbard fold or will he prevail?
Contact further back. Brunelli and Shob off of 4. They continue to keep their trucks rolling. 44 applying all the pressure right now. Look on board the driver, Ashton Crowder, with under 30 laps to go. He looks high. Now he peaks to the bottom. He got there.
Oh, there
Contact.
It is. Some close racing up here at the front. Hubbard getting loose off corner exit out of 2 and out of 4. Here comes River Hayes trying to follow the 44.
I think the most impressive thing is that
around.
his facial expression never changed. Locked in all the time. And Crowder trying to slide up off of 4 and take the lead from Noah Hubbard. Not that time.
Keep the 12
Got
high
him
on
there.
the track, though. Hubbard will look for the crossover, but couldn't quite put the power down. Ashton Crowder back to where he started this race, finally, about 144 laps later.
Lewis and Gasheri scrap for the 9th spot with Rossi looking on. And Brunelli has been working over the 48 the best he can, almost contact into the door. Brunelli has been the second fastest driver on the track here recently, only behind Crowder. Crossover from the 48, he got into the back bumper of the 24. Around goes Brunelli almost. Shob's gonna fill the hole.
Smoke.
Shob leaning on the door of the 24. Doesn't this bring you back? 24-17, battling on a short track.
Absolutely. Michael Wade just biding his time right now behind this battle, waiting for either one of those drivers to make a mistake, and he can sneak right on through.
Everyone single files out for the moment. Back up closer to the front. Hayes still looking at the back bumper of Hubbard. We've switched into nighttime mode as Crowder has started to leg it out. It's a second as he works into heavy lap traffic.
As Crowder can navigate that smoothly, he'll really be able to set sail away from Hubbard and Hayes. Right now, the last thing he wants to see is that yellow flag wave. Down through the inside line, plenty of room given there. Now 2 cars separate our first and second place driver.
Brunelli got back around Holston. That is for 5th position. 24's got a lot of speed right now. Really doing a great job saving those tires.
17 taking a look to the inside line. Again, though, you just can't generate enough speed off the bottom of the track in most cases to complete a pass from the bottom line. So Holston did a great job to defend for this top 6 position. Show will have to really put the moves on to get around.
Door to door. Shope's going to clear. Michael Wade looking for that spot as well around the 48, who's starting to fade a little bit at the very back part of this run. The closest battle on the racetrack is this one, Gasheri, just in front of Ullman. This is for 11th. Good run for both of these guys tonight. Ullman knocked the right front off of it. Still has enough speed to battle with the 1.
Maybe even that slight damage there in the right front, helping the drive through the corner in some cases.
If he's loose, it certainly
next to
would,
him.
but I don't think that's the case here. I think that truck's building pretty tight. He will clear. Ullman to 11th.
Although the lights have come on, the sun has gone down, the track temperature has gone up 1 degree. Not a lot of change here in today's race. Been a pretty steady mid-80s track surface. In most cases helps these drivers with consistency. All you have to focus on is that tire fall off. Just trying to find a way around Wade.
They just stuck to the bottom right now. Can't give him too much because Rossi's right there. And it's so inviting to just hook a left and try and get to the inside, but then you get right here and you realize that might not have been the right call because now I'm losing ground and the tires are getting hot. Oh, Lewis got his nose chopped by Wade. Had to bail. Put him back to a 13, still a lap down.
Rossi did a great job of keeping that 7 out of that. Could have ended up very badly for both of those drivers.
Yeah, Rossi's done a pretty solid job today, just staying out of trouble. He's been around a lot of it, but hasn't been involved in any of it.
Staying out of trouble and managing to keep his connection at
right.
bay too. I know the 7 typically plagued with some blinking here and there.
Yes, like those Christmas lights you love so much.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of the blinking ones, honestly.
Well, there you go. You learn something new every day. Hinson, Hayes. This is for the bottom rung of the podium, and Hinson went and took it away from him.
39 last time by with a 23.364. Hayes with a 23.423. So Hayes might have spent a little too much time battling with Hubbard and Crowder. Crowder has gotten nearly 4 seconds ahead of the 12 machine. Gavin Hinson right now 2.6 seconds behind Hubbard. And Brunelli with a great recovery here up to the top 5 after his issues being involved with the 45.
Dave Billings getting worked over at the moment, just trying to give some. Gonna stay out of the way here of these lead lap cars, especially this best battle on the racetrack. Rossi, Wade, and Lewis. It's for 8th.
Inside 10 laps to go here at IRP. 75 on the board, 166 knocked down. Now is when the aggression goes into overdrive.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, there it is.
Rossi into the back bumper of Wade, and Wade's not going to be happy about that one. He's going to come down the hill into his door. We are almost 3 wide. I think Rossi may have just gave that spot back up and said, you know what, my bad. We're not going to do it that way. He'll regroup for the final 7 or so.
You have to think Lewis was really hoping that would progress into something more.
Right. Oh, Rossi up in the fence. Here comes Lewis by.
P9 now for the 8 machine. 79 just behind making some moves. However, Trey about 28 laps down now.
Oh, no, he got hooked.
Oh!
Lewis in front of the field, cautions out. You saw it coming. And that's going to put an end to some really good days.
Not what you want to see.
Not at all. Lewis tried to clear Wade. And with 5 laps to go, he wasn't clear there. Tried to throttle it up. And just simply was not clear. Yeah, that's how it happens sometimes.
And again, Rossi right there in the mix of it, but somehow manages to stay mostly clean. I think he got a touch there on the nose, but
on board from Michael Wade. There you see Lewis try and throttle up and just, yeah, there was no hope that was going to come out of that one clean. Oh, Rossi did get some pretty good damage there, actually. Looking at the right front. Knocked it off with the 7. Pretty good lick.
ah, yes, I do see that now.
The other purple truck, that was Harold Tucker III, got through cleanly. From Rossi's on board.
The initial touch. The drive up the track.
Yeah, there wasn't much he could do to avoid that one. Then he got turned into the wall for his efforts. Yeah. Dang. I think Woolen might have got part of that too, actually. On board with Ullman. Might have been somebody else. I think somebody hit 7 in the back bumper. Was it Trey?
Might have been the 79.
I think it was.
It was the closest one to it, right there.
Yeah, it sure was.
There's
Yeah,
the tap.
he squared him up and got him.
That's another one we can chalk up to the YouTube chat there, Morgan. That's Weiser 8
We're
out
doing
there.
the caution dance.
Doing the caution dance.
Did they get to? They must have got to the lead, to the lucky dog spot. Then I would imagine. There it is. Saying Yahtzee. Well, there you go. Is
Don't
Luis
know if
back on
Bryson
the lead
Luis-
lap?
He's
No,
not on the lead lap.
no, he's not. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. Maybe it was for fuel. That was the concern. I don't think that's the case, but it could be.
I don't believe so either. That's I didn't quite catch the number for the 13, but it wasn't anywhere close to 80 laps.
Well, let's re-rack it and restack it. Top 2, Crowder and Henson, 53 lap old tires. They can make it to the end on fuel. That's not a concern. The problem for them, 2 tires behind them. And 4 freshies on Rossi in 10th. It's only a 2-lap shootout. But we have as many 2-lap shootouts as we need to get this thing settled. And by the way, this has ratcheted up over the last handful of laps. I wouldn't be surprised if we got into a multitude of these little shootouts. It's overtime.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I know that 12 is going to be the most aggressive up here in the top 10. He's in the best position. He's got the 2 fresh tires. Only downside is he's on that inside line, but he is following the lead control car.
That's right. He's going to have to
Into the
go
restart
sooner.
zone we go.
There we go. Hinson did not get a great launch. Hubbard has to clear right now. He's got it. And they're all going to get around Hinson. It looks like Hayes in the middle, Brunelli on the bottom. They're 3 wide.
A lot of bobbling going on behind. Can we get back to the start-finish line? Wave that white flag.
There it is.
The
White flag's
yellows
out.
Should stay put. One down to the bottom. Can Hubbard get around the 44? Can Crowder keep him behind?
He's got one shot at
Hubbard
it. He got
sliding.
loose off of 2. Into turn 3, sails it off in the corner, but it's not going to be enough. Off of turn 4 for the final time, Ashton Crowder will win an IRP.
Sideways behind, big crash out of turn 4.
Chaos ensues, coming to the checkered flag. What a finish. I don't know who was involved in that accident. We'll go back and see it after Ashton Crowder's celebration. Maybe, Sandy, you can go back and find some drivers involved. Like I saw the 16 go for a slide at the end.
Definitely see the 9 going head first into the wall.
Time. BlacksIsland.com on the side of the 44 for a special appearance today. And well, they got the airtime they wanted.
Man, to think Ashton Crowder started this race in the top spot. Just 4 or 5 laps later, fell all the way back to 26th. It took him about 144 laps to get back up to the podium positions. Comes away victorious on 56 lap old tires, keeping those 2 tire call drivers right behind. Here's the 16 of Wade going for his ride, throws it in reverse to get across that finish line.
We'll go back a little further here, a lot to recap. He went in here and he body slammed the 17 up out of the way. Was able to clear, not quite actually, 3 wide with Hinson. They had a little more contact. Again, sailed it off into the corner. I think he might have got some help. Yeah, a little contact right in the center. Hinson pushed him as well. Merriman did a good job avoiding. That was a pretty impressive shift while moving.
Oh, yeah.
That's good stuff. All right, here's hit a little bit more. 81, who ended up getting black flagged at the start-finish line, along with Kime and Wasaki. Maybe one went 3 wide. Of course he did. What was the cause of this, though? Oh, Wasaki just came down and hooked the 9. Oh, man, that's violent. Baldwin Jr. involved as well. And they crossed the line in a knot. Yeah, that's not what you're looking
crime
for.
time.
Yeah, that was a big one.
It was nearly murder on the track.
It was. It was. There is the 44, and let's get to our grid results, I should say. Ashton Crowder will win here tonight. Noah Hubbard in the 2nd spot. River Hayes will finish in 3rd with Brunelli in 4th, and Holston solid day rounds out your top 5. Shobe will finish in 6th with Hinson in the 7th spot. Rossi in 8th, Yates 9th, and Merriman with a top 10.
Just outside of the top 10, Ullman taking home P11, Wade just behind in P12, Gasheri in 13th, Young taking home 14th, DeWeese started P2, falls back to 15th, Lewis in 16th, Dave Billings taking home 17th, Kime after his incident there coming out of 4, brings it home 18th, Jewett in 19th, and Wasaki in 20th.
Your final 9. Zach White will finish 21st. Gary Baldwin Jr. in 22nd. Addison 23rd with Collier in the 24th spot. HT3 Harold Tucker III will finish in 25th. Tyner Willing 26th. Jacob Cochran. Something broke in that car. He finished 27th. Gill in 28th. And Sturdivant will finish 29th here tonight. Well, let's move on over to Sofa News Victory Lane and catch up with your race winner, Ashton Crowder. Ashton Crowder, Morgan and Santa up in the booth. You got a copy?
I do. What's up?
Well, this was a lot more than what the box score said it was. It'll say you started first, led 29 laps, set the fast lap of the day, and finished first, but it was so much more than that. Why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah, it definitely was. Let's see, got the pole because we did the little tire cheese, right? We were sitting there wheeling around. I asked beforehand because I typically don't cheese, right? I don't do any of that in here because I just feel like it's ridiculous. But we started messing around with it in qualifying, and I was like, oh man, I'm setting fast laps again. And then I asked race control, I was like, can we do it? And they were like, yeah, sure, why not? And I was like, that's a mistake. And then we set the pole by almost 3/10 because I just whipped the car around, for a lap and a half essentially, and then ran a 4, which is insane because I think my fastest race lap was like a 9.
It was, yep.
Yeah, insanity. But yeah, and then I was trying out different lines, just trying to see what would give me the most rotation, and then I don't know. I put my left front on the paint because I figured that'd be good, and like my car. Not trying to talk down the sim here, but it kind of did like a weird hop, and it made like a sound, but like very faintly, and then it just went whoop, straight around.
Can you do that sound one more time?
Like that.
Thank you.
Nice.
You're welcome. Yeah, so I don't know what that was. I guess I'll have to look back and figure that out. Yeah, maybe that's like something with the track mesh. I don't know. But either way, it's freaking looped immediately. And I was like, oh man, that's so embarrassing. And then I was at the back for majority of the race. Felt like John Gorlinski in the DMP league, lap or trash, as you would say. And I was just trying my best, and it just didn't seem to be too good. I was fast on long run though. I mean, I had like 3-4 tenths a lap on the leaders, but then again, I was running like half a second off of them to start the run, so it really didn't matter that much. But once everything kind of cycled out and I was on level footing again, it was fun. But everything before that, it was embarrassing, slightly depressing, and just a real struggle. And those are the races that allow you to perform at the highest level, when you're having to struggle and figure it out. So, it was a real blessing that I spun because I got to learn a lot about where I am mentally, and I had some great teammates in my channel, and not so teammates, but friends in my channel that helped me out the entire time. So it was frustrating, but it was also fun.
And to talk about the teammates a little bit, River Hayes, Tristan Benelli, a couple of those, and they ended
Gavin.
up, Gavin as well.
That's right.
They all ended up finishing in the top 7. So how much of creating that positive mindset goes beyond just you as a driver?
Oh, it's huge. I live my life by positivity, helping others, doing everything I can possibly do at the highest level, right? So, and we carry that into sim racing as well. My long-term career goal is to be a coach. I don't care what the level is, right? I do elementary school, middle school, high school, big-time Division I college football at Virginia Tech, maybe. But everything we do, like I do with Brennan, it's all about kind of the mental side of things and understanding where you need to be. And one of the things, just my essay that I sent in my happy class, we'll call it, it's being a comm major for you, that they said was not written by me, is external factors, right? So if you make a mistake like that, instead of thinking about, wow, I suck, you think about, okay, what are some external factors I can focus on here to really bring myself back in the game? And one of those was trying just to find ways to gain rotation. And I focused on that the entire race. Just how do I position my truck here to get the most rotation possible so I can get a straight run off, and with that save my stuff. But going to the external factors, that makes things more positive as a whole. So you're not thinking, oh man, I'm sucking because I'm running P22 at the moment. You're thinking, how can I execute the best lap possible and do this at the highest level? So I think it's huge. I think that's an untapped market in the sim racing world, to be honest with you. And I feel like if more people kind of took that approach, they would have a lot more fun racing and maybe a lot more fun in life, even playing golf. Who knows?
Yeah, I can attest that the positive mindset definitely makes the sim a lot more enjoyable. And while we have some time here, why don't you shout out some of these sponsors, including a new one on the truck this week?
That's right. Yeah, Black's Island. It's an island off the coast of Florida, around or in the Panhandle. I forget the exact location, but it's on my hood if you want to look at it. But yeah, that's one of Brennan's sponsors, and they have been doing so much for him. And he was like, "Man, you got to put that John on the truck." And sure enough, we did. So it was awesome to get them a win. Want to get them a win in real life. They're pretty close at Atlanta. I don't know if you heard about that. It was pretty cool. But getting them a win in the sim is pretty cool as well. But MacDoor Systems, Midas, Clark, CW Suns, you guys for the broadcast. The whole league, all my friends out there. My girlfriend watching. I don't know if my mom's watching. Let's see, my family, Alpha Prime, and Chevrolet. But today we ran a Ford for no reason. So, yeah.
Right.
So shout out to all of them and Caitlin Clark.
There you go, Ashton Crowder at the highest level. Thank you for your time.
That's right. Thank you.
Winner today here in IRP. One step down the podium, and so from his victory lane, Santa has caught up with Noah Hubbard.
We do have Noah Hubbard up here. A fantastic race for you. 118 laps led, and it wasn't ever easy at any given point, Noah. You had competition just swarming you. It seemed like every single lap. You never had much breathing room at all. Run me a little bit through your race and tell me how you were able to overcome that pressure that was being applied for pretty well all 118 laps you were in front.
Yeah, that was definitely a good race. We led a bunch of laps, like you said, but it definitely wasn't easy. Whether it was, I forget who was running second for the longest time there at the beginning. Yes, him. He was right there just as fast as me for the longest time, and he would get to my inside a couple times, and I just kind of pinch him off and keep my momentum on the outside. And I was also trying to save a little bit of tire because I wasn't quite sure how everything was going to go there on the long run. So I wasn't trying to drive as hard as I could, but I also wanted to keep the track position, stay in the lead. And that's what I tried to do there. And and then saw Ashton coming. I knew I didn't quite have the speed that he did. So I think I bowed him for 2 or 3 laps. That was really about all I had there for him. And, he just pulled away after that. And to that last caution there, it made it quite interesting. I was fine with P2, and then, we came down and put on 2 tires there, just try something a little different. And I don't know. I don't think I really had anything for him. He was still pretty fast on his old tires, to be honest, compared to my 2. I tried what I could, but I wasn't, going to drive it in there and wreck him or anything like that. But it was overall a good race.
I've raced with you a couple times here, Noah, and I've known you to be quite the aggressive driver. But today you finished one of only 2 drivers without any incident points. Now, going back to the original statement here, the 2-tire call, I loved it. I thought you had a great shot at getting to the front. Just I didn't quite feel like I saw the level of aggression I'm used to from you. Is there anything that you go back and maybe change on that last restart to get around the 44?
Well, I wasn't going to, let's see, I'm trying to think here. I was going to wait to turn 3 to try and get him after we took the green. But maybe I should have tried in turn 1. I don't know. The only way to pass him there would have been if I was to throw a slider, which that's what I did whenever after stage and stuff like that to work my way back through. That'd be maybe I should have just threw a slider in turn 1 instead of waiting, because I'd lost probably 2 car lengths at that point. I wasn't really close enough to get back to him to even throw a slide or anything like that. So I guess maybe I should just tried it in turn 1 and not have waited. That'd be the only thing I could think of maybe. But he was still fast. He definitely had more speed than I did in general though. So.
It was a fun battle regardless. You weren't too far off the fastest lap of the race, one of the only drivers down in the 22-0 bracket. So, it was fun to watch you out there today. Looking forward to seeing you more out here on the track, putting on fantastic shows. But for now, is there anybody you'd like to say thanks to or shout out?
My teammate Luke, he wasn't able to make it tonight, but Barnes Performance Engines and Luke Barnes Designs.
Short and sweet. Noah Hubbard, your P2 finisher. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
That leaves us with just one more. And Morgan, I think you've caught up with our last finisher on the podium, the only other driver in the 21-second bracket for the fastest lap, River Hayes in the 82.
River, Morgan, and San up in the booth. You got a copy?
I do. How are you guys?
We are doing all right. Biggest mover of the day, 23 up to 3. That says quite a bit about how hard it was to pass here tonight. What was it from your point of view?
Yeah, I was doing some stuff before the race there and I missed qualifying, so I knew I was going to have a hard night to deal with. But it started out good. I mean, I was, knocking them off on the bottom, just trying to bide my time there. And I don't know who exactly wrecked there. I think right before the first stage. And I was trying to go low to miss it, and Crowder did the same, and we just didn't get checked up in time, and we both spun and got damaged and stuff. And when I came down to fix it, I went a lap down. Had to get my lap back, and then I spent the next few cautions repairing damage. And then once I got the truck fixed, I realized that there was actually damage that couldn't be fixed, which I wish it would have told me that. I would have just took the fast repair, but either way. Yeah, so once I figured that out, it was just riding around until I could get past the lap cars, because every time I would come down to take damage, I couldn't get back up there in time to get in front of the lap cars to have any chance of actually fighting guys on the lead lap. So once I got back up to, I think, 12th or so, towards the end there, I felt pretty comfortable that I could get up to the top 5. And once I got there, I got fresh tires there on the, I don't know how many it was, like 40 to go or so. And the strategy was to get the lead and run away. But Noah wasn't going to have any part of that. He was going to fight me tooth and nail for that. And I don't blame him. And I just used it up a little bit too much. And I just didn't even have anything left after Crowder got ahead of him. I couldn't catch him, and then I started falling back, and Gavin got ahead of me. And I was kind of sort of just hoping for that green, white, checkered caution, which we did get, but we realistically didn't have enough time, and also with the choose, I didn't have good positioning to really have any benefit in having the new right sides. But yeah, it was the difference between 3rd and 4th, so I'll still take that.
Yeah, it worked out obviously to get the podium in a race that had you fighting on the back foot pretty much the whole day. It makes it feel any better. The first driver took 4 tires on that final caution, only gained 2 spots from 10th to 8th. So 2 tires was the right call in that situation, considering, of course, you were fading a bit on that run before it. But when you get kind of shuffled back, or start at the back, I should say, and you're just continually having to scrap and claw, and then you have the damage issues, how hard is it for you to kind of lock in and say, you know what, we're going to get through this, even though it sucks right now, we will be able to finish this in a top 3 spot or top 5 spot later? How hard is that for you as a driver?
Yeah, it's obviously frustrating because, you want to get up there and then use strategy to get to the front. And whenever you have damage or you get wrecked, it's kind of one of those situations where you have to reset your strategy all over and just act like it's the start of the race all over again, right? So realistically, I only had about 50 laps to get to the front tonight instead of, the scheduled distance of 175. So obviously it's a little frustrating. I wish I would have had first of all, I wish I would have qualified. That would have made a lot more sense. But I still had fun driving up through the field. I mean, it's a really fun track. If you let off the gas and you let it like rotate on the white line there or yellow line, it's really fun. You can actually gain ground and you can find grip down there. And I like to send it in on the apron and just let it cut. But then again, the truck was pretty tight tonight. I was trying my best to get around Noah to where I could just, run away, and then I'd have to have Ashton catch me. But like I said, I just used it all up trying to get around Noah there, and he wasn't going to let me by. So, I mean, like I said, I don't blame him at all. He's fighting for a win, and Ashton, he's just so good at sitting there and waiting, right? So, and I knew he was going to do it, so I had to go. I had to try it, because if I just played the same strategy as Ashton, if I'm being honest, I feel like Ashton's just better at me than just sitting there and taking care of the tires. He's just better than me, and I would have never had a chance even if I did save my stuff against Ashton. So I knew I had to go. Just unfortunately, it just didn't work out.
Well, on that note, River, after a P3, who do you want to thank and who do you want to shout out as we look forward in the schedule to next week?
What is next week, Morgan?
That is a fantastic question. Santa, what is next week?
That is a fantastic question. River, what is next week?
We'll find it here. We'll find it.
Let me look. I got you.
I should know that, but I don't.
Richmond,
another short track. Terrific.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I love me some Richmond. Yeah, that's going to be a great time. I think I would prefer to run Richmond rather than here and Iowa, because it's just so much fun to run the top kind of sort of in the middle of 1 and 2. I just really like it. So I'm looking forward to that. And I want to thank Smith's Race Development, Ryan Pelfrey, and you guys for putting on a great show tonight. I appreciate you guys.
Awesome. Thanks for your time, River. 3rd place here in Sofa News Victory Lane. Well, Santa, you have to go deliver some presents. And it's about that time that we shut this thing down for everyone. Here in the Mystic Racing League, all of the admins, all the drivers, everyone watching at home, on the couch, or on your mobile, or however you're consuming this content, appreciate you. For the Downtown Auto Sales Truck Series presented by Pest Busters here on V-Speed from IRP Lucas Oil. Final thoughts, Logan?
Yeah, that was a great race. We obviously had our 7 natural cautions on the day, so it shook things up, kept things interesting, but a lot of great battles that were able to form from those restarts, and just ultimately one of the greatest comebacks I think I've ever seen in sim racing performed by Ashton Crowder. That was incredible to watch, although had to take our eyes off of it quite a few times because there's just so much more going on everywhere on this track. I have 0 complaints with how this one went. I thought the racing was amazing. Really looking forward to seeing what these drivers can produce next week at Richmond. Another very, very tough and very different style of short track racing. It's one heck of a way to end the regular season before heading off into the chase.
Yeah, and then Stafford, another short track with the first race in the chase. Then, of course, we're going to finish this thing off, but we'll get there when we get there. For now, I'm Morgan Cook, Logan Threlkeld in the commentary booth with me here tonight. Dougie Beard providing the cameras. If you haven't already, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a moment of the racing action. We'll catch you next time right here on V-Speed.